Hi everyone, and welcome to Kofman Parsha. In this week's edition, Parshat Lech Lecha, Abby will be discussing trusting in God. I will be discussing the idea of the universalization of holiness. Ben will be talking about being a light unto the nations. And Sonja will be discussing our own personal inner Lech Lecha, our own journey. Thank you. I hope you enjoy and have a great week.
Hi, I'm Abigail Kofman, and I'll be talking to you about Parshat Lech Lecha. In this week's Parsha, we get told the first words of this week's Parsha is Lech Lecha. That means to go for you. Why are these words so important? These are the first time we're introduced to Avraham, and Avraham gets his first challenge to go. So that is a big challenge. He had to leave his friends, his family, his home, his country behind to go to a new place with new people, and very, very, very few people even come with him. If I get told by my parents that that's what happened to me, I'll be terrified. If they tell me, like, don't worry, trust in God, I wouldn't be able to do this. So this show you Avraham greatness. But this also shows us the power of trust. We need to trust. To prove this, I'll give you a story of a girl. This girl goes to a new school, and she's nervous, closed off, and doesn't trust people. She might not make friends, and if she do, will take her months, even maybe years. But if she did the opposite and trusted people, she could have made friends in weeks. She might have got hurt, but she would have probably made friends, and trusting people is important. We see this in the Parsha, and this is something we need to use every day in our life.
Hi everyone. One of my favorite things about learning Torah is that sometimes you start with what seems to be a dry technical question and end up with an amazing insight. At the end of this week's Parsha, we have a great example of it. Avraham is commanded in the mitzvah of circumcision. The commentators raise a question. If this is a brand new commandment, how did Avraham know what God meant? There are numerous answers given, but one answer that some commentators give is that it's not a new idea at all. Shadal, in the 19th century, suggests that what's novel is that circumcision is presented to the entire nation, and not like the other lands did it, just reserved for the priesthood. It's basically the universalizing of holiness. This is a theme throughout the entire Torah and rabbinic thought. At the beginning of the Torah, God creates people in his image. What's unique wasn't that the idea that people could be in the image of God. Paro, for instance, believed that he was divine. Rather, it's that everyone was like this. We are all made in the image of God. Shadal is saying that there is the same lesson being presented in our Parsha. This continues throughout all of Jewish thought. Later in Pirkei Avot, we are told that there are three crowns: the crown of Torah, of kingship, and priesthood, all of which in some ways are limiting. As an example, I'm never going to be a king or a Kohen. But the Mishnah continues. There's a fourth crown, the crown of a good name, which is greater than them all. Judaism is trying to tell us that the highest level of holiness is universally attainable. We all can get to the crown of a good name. This is the same idea that Shadal is leading into our Parsha and into the question we started with. Moreover, it puts a challenge to all of us. If holiness is something that we can all attain if we work hard enough, what are we doing to attain it? Are we putting in that effort for each and every one of us to become holy? Thank you, and have a great Shabbos.
This week is Parshat Lech Lecha, and when I was doing a read-through of the Parsha, one of the first psukim I found really weird at the end of it. So I'll read it. V'evrecha mivarecha u'makal lecha ayur nevarechu b'chol kol mishpachat adama. What loosely translated to, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you, and through all of the families of the earth, through you all the families of the earth will be blessed. But the beginning, I find this pretty simple. I will bless those who bless you, and I'll curse those who curse you. But the end of it, the earth will be blessed through your family. What I find doesn't make much sense. But this week when I was in yeshiva, and one of the rabbeim gave a class, and what I found was a really good connected. So in Devarim, chapter 4, pasuk 5 and 6. I'll just read the English because it's a bit long. It's, "See, I have imparted to you laws and rules as my God Hashem has commanded you, for you to abide by in the land that you are about to enter and occupy. Observe them faithfully, for that will be the proof of your wisdom, and the discernment of other people upon hearing will be proof. These laws will say, surely the great nation is wise and discerning as a discerning people." Well, I find he was talking about that, how this pasuk, that the Torah, the practice that we the Jews, the children, the family of Avraham follow, is they'll look at it and they'll see its importance and see how it will, you could say, will be a blessing onto the world. How even if you look nowadays, how a lot of modern morals and everything is based off of the Judeo-Christian values, what's based off of the Torah. What we are doing, and I think this is brings it to the idea of that we're supposed to be a light unto the nations, that we're supposed to bring and be a light where we're supposed to lead everyone else. Good Shabbos, and thank you for listening.
In this week's Parsha Lech Lecha, the translation is, "You should go," but the true power lies in another meaning. Go to yourself, or go within yourself, to leave your birthplace or your comfort zone and start something new. That is what Avraham and Sonja did. Now, there were righteous people before Avraham, like Noah, but none of them managed to influence the world like Abraham did. Abraham was the first to have the idea that God was singular being. His strength was not just the physical belief in God. It was the willpower to walk away from the beliefs of everyone around him, the familiar. He left a family who sold idols and moved to a new land and dedicated his life to being the best he could be. Him and Sarah succeeded where others failed, convincing others to break away from adultery and embrace the idea of a single God. They didn't just change themselves, they changed the world. Even after God appeared to him, he kept asking questions. When God told him of Sodom would be destroyed, he challenged God's plan. Avraham wasn't questioning to be a rebel. He was questioning to search for the truth, like a child asking a question. Even when they know the answer, they want to be sure. The Torah shows us that the path to faith doesn't start with an answer. It starts with asking questions. Lech Lecha is a reminder. Don't settle for the comfortable answer. Go within yourself and start searching for answers. Sometimes it can feel uncomfortable, but that is what helps with the journey that Avraham started for the Jewish people long ago.